You guessed it, time for a Just Ask Dad session. Today we're going out with Sean Ball. We should call this series Driving with Sean. We're going to review a 2009 Dodge Challenger.
Well, hello there.
Oh, hello. Ready to go?
Yep.
Alrighty. This one should be a little bit more fun because unlike the Land Rover, I actually know a little something about the Challenger. I forgot, trying to make a left turn in Kelowna is next to impossible.
All right, what are we driving today, sir?
Today, I am behind the wheel of a 2009 Dodge Challenger RT. It's a fun car to say the least. Let's talk a little bit about Challengers first and foremost. Obviously, you know, muscle car from the 70s. It actually ran into the 80s, but I don't think anybody really wants to talk about a 1980s Challenger. Ugh. It was not good. The 80s in general weren't really a good time for sports cars. Dodge, rightly so, brought it back in 2008 by releasing 500 SRT Challengers. They were pretty few and far between, and they were only available in the SRT trim level. That was it. That was the only thing you could get one of these in. It was a 6.1 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine. And besides like color and whether you wanted a manual or an auto, those were pretty much the only options. So the cool thing about this 2009 Challenger RT is that it was actually the first year that Dodge released a Challenger with a 5.7 liter V8 Hemi. This thing's tuned for about 375 horsepower, and it's still, I mean, the great thing about Challengers is that they've just retained all of that like classic muscle car style. I look at the front end of this thing with the RT badge, and I just think to myself, the RT Charger that's in Vanishing Point. Great movie. Yeah. Check that out. Classic, like 1970s, 70s, maybe even 60s. 90,000 kilometers is on this particular one, which is a little high. I wouldn't really call it like a collector's piece, but being up here in the Okanagan, it's definitely really, really fun to drive. As you can probably already tell, I'm taking it through some windy turns on purpose. Now, the one thing about a vehicle like this is that, yes, it is partially historically significant. I guess it could be if you keep it in good shape. But when you're starting to get these vehicles coming out, there's a lot more technology involved in obviously everything that's been released by Dodge. And as a result, the interiors actually start to look a little bit more dated than even like the 1970s Challengers. And it's because you get stuff like the touchscreens and all your switches and controls, which are digital. There's not really any analog pieces left of the car, except I should point out for this fucking badass short shifter that they've got here, which, regardless of your shifting ability, makes you feel like Tom Cruise in Top Gun.
That's right.
Which is weird that a car makes you feel like you're flying a fighter jet, but it does. It really does. When you press the gas, I want to go. To go now, I want to go fast. A 5-speed auto is not going to be particularly good on gas. It gives you less control, which in a car like this, you absolutely want. I hope we're picking up some of the engine noise as I'm shifting, because even though it is quite quiet here in the cabin, you can still feel it, you can still hear it. And it's smooth, it rumbles. If you're going to get a Challenger, if you're going to get a Charger, get at least a 5.7 Hemi, because you will not be disappointed. And to be honest with you, resale value will be pretty positively impacted. Just wanted to go a little sideways there. I like it. So typically for a car like this, you're going to be looking, depending on like the mileage, and 90,000 kilometers, which is what this one has, is quite low. Because let's be real here, this is pretty much a 9-10-year-old vehicle at this point.
Have you seen the new Jurassic World trailer?
No, I haven't. There's a new one out already?
There's a new Jurassic World coming out. Remember the first Jurassic
I
Park?
still think that held up pretty well, to be honest with you.
Oh shit, yeah.
Raptors jumping on tables and
Right,
all the
like,
rest.
at the time it looked really good, but now you look at these new ones, and it is unreal. I don't know if they should be keep making these Jurassic Park movies, but I enjoy the idea of dinosaurs.
You know what? I feel like Disney bought the rights to it. They're just gonna keep pumping them out. So back to the car, as the road's getting a little bit windier and a little bit colder, it actually handles really, really well. And we've just got mud and snows on the back of this rear wheel drive, which is not always the best as I slow down through an icy patch. The blind spots suck. It's hard to see corners and to see, you know, what's coming up behind you. The C columns, the C pillars, are massive, but it wouldn't be a Challenger without them. It wouldn't look the same. So you kind of gotta have them. You're not buying it because it has blind spots. If you're concerned about that, you're probably not driving fast enough. You should be passing people, right, Nick?
Correct.
So, here's the situation. You walk on the lot, you've already done a little bit of your homework. You know that you can spend about $300 to $350 per month, taxes, fees, everything in, on a vehicle, but you don't have a ton of money to put down. So, what do you think? Oh, I'll go with a used vehicle because it'll be cheaper and therefore my payments are going to be lower. Not true. As I mentioned before, banks will knock a year off of the term for every year old that a vehicle is. And the reason they actually do this is for the safety of the buyer, because the last thing that a bank wants to have happen is someone who is in a 6, 7, 8-year car loan on a used vehicle, and that vehicle is out of warranty and something goes wrong and the vehicle is no longer operable. It's no longer drivable. And you still owe however many thousands of dollars on it because you just had to have that flashy used vehicle. Yeah, your term is ridiculously long for the age of the vehicle. So it's actually there to protect the buyer a little bit. I love Challengers. I love manual Challengers. This one is awesome. At the sticker price at $22,000, I actually think it's not a bad price for what you get, assuming based on what you're looking for. I am Sean with Just Ask Dads. Dad, have we decided is it plural or singular yet?
It's Dad, but there's Dads.
Okay. Reviewing a 2009 Challenger for Just Ask Dads.
That's it, guys. There you have it. A 2009 Dodge Challenger reviewed by this dad, Jean de Ball. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to review something next. If there's a certain vehicle you want to see us review, leave a message in the comments. Don't forget, if you have any questions for any of the dads, just ask Dad. We're here to answer your questions, guys.
Heyo.
Hey-oh.